Aloha.
Hey guys.
Hey Ron, how you doing, man?
Good. Your email was in spam, so I couldn't. Yeah, that's where it went. Just let you know.
How you doing down there?
Awesome, awesome. You are up north, right?
Yeah, we're in a place called Lions Bay. That's our work. That's our backyard there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than LA. That's for sure.
Yeah, we think we're gonna try and move. We went to like the best place we can imagine, which was Laguna Beach, and it's still not, the nature is not here as we'd like, even though the ocean is.
Oh yeah, we've got nature. That's exactly why we're here. Yeah. It's all nature.
There's bears in the backyard every couple of days.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we're only 20 minutes outside of downtown Vancouver, actually.
Okay. Are you in Vancouver or Washington or Vancouver, Canada?
Vancouver, Canada.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, we're on our way up to Whistler. If you go through Vancouver up to Whistler, we're about 20 minutes out of downtown.
Cool.
So it's like we're literally in the mountains, but we're a drive from Venice to Santa Monica to the mountains or to the city, right? Yeah, so
right.
So out of curiosity, so I've been following your stuff for a long time, right? Watching you because you're crazy as hell, and I love that. So what brought you? How do you find the fascial maneuvers again? Or how did you find the program?
So, well, Adam Rothfield, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He brought me to your place a long time ago, but I came with a buddy, and that guy kind of like sat there and argued with you like for 30 minutes after you like did some stuff in his mouth. So I never even really got to have a conversation with you. And then I went to your place in Venice. So that was the older facility. Then I went to your place in Venice when the Conscious Clubhouse deal was happening towards the end.
Yeah.
And I remember just like you were in a conversation with Aaron, I think, with somebody, and you were talking about fascia spiraling. And so then I looked that up and I saw videos of like the different parts of the spiral having different blood supplies, and when a tendon moves, you actually see like the arteries moving like in different levels within the tendon. And so that really interested me. And so I'd been following you for a long time. And then, like I said in the comment, I just saw your post, and then I've seen like free facial maneuvers and free classes. I've been seeing you guys doing that over the last several months, but I never had the time or the energy to go through another thing because there's like always all this stuff out there. That's
Down in California, you get every other thing that comes in, right?
Right. So it's all interesting, and I knew you were doing awesome stuff. But then I've been doing Ashtanga yoga 6 days a week for like 3 months. And I hurt my neck a little bit. I got really bad problems in my body because I played hockey my entire life. I've got imbalances and dead nerves and injuries, torn tendons, like everything's messed up in my body. But I have these neck problems all the time. And so I had a pinched nerve in my neck. It's been like 2 weeks. It's really good now, but it was really bad last week. And when I saw your post, then I just went through, I just started clicking. And then I saw like the thing and how you're giving stuff away for free because the practitioners don't adopt it, which actually made sense to me. And then you're just like, we're just giving it away to the people and they can heal themselves. So then I did the first 3 maneuvers, and that's when I left the message like, this is awesome. So that's awesome. I respect you. I follow you from afar, and I just finally dove in.
That's awesome. It's kind of our journey has always been, like when I got into Human Garage and I started it, it was really simply about trying to understand why I couldn't get fixed. So, and I started actually off with Ashtanga yoga. and Ashtanga yoga actually started to strengthen me, and it started to remove some of the imbalances that I created through bodybuilding and through just bad life, right? And then as I started, they started working in the human garage. It was just really to fix myself. So we had hired all those practitioners over the years, and we brought them all together. And I was just learning from them. I figured if I pay them, I could ask them questions.
Right.
And so over that 10-year period, I got a very good education in medical from almost every discipline, because I worked with every discipline. And I realized that 85% of what every practitioner was doing was the same. 85% of the time the practitioner did the same 15 to 20 things, because we started looking at it from a data point of view. And then it just hit me that I didn't have to know medicine. I just had to look for these symptoms or these problems and then apply if this, then. And I did that for about 5 years or 6 years and got better at it constantly. But there was something missing at the end, because when I went away on my own, like when I went away from California, I've been working 6 days a week for about 7 years straight at that point. And I went away on a vacation, my body broke down, and I realized that I hadn't solved anything. I just got a bunch of practitioners who were there on call for me anytime I needed it. And that's when I started the maneuvers. And right when you came in was when I had already decided at the Conscious Clubhouse, I intended to leave for the practitioners because I was leaving them. Right. And so that's why I set it up, but it failed because there was no leadership. There was nobody that really was willing to run it. Everybody wanted to be in charge and to run it, even at Aaron and stuff like that. And they were working for it, but they didn't have the acumen to pull that big of an organization together. So came to Canada and met Jason. Jason was started off trained him as a practitioner, and then he was the first person to fully duplicate my work. And at that point, we moved in together, and literally 24/7 education for the last year. And through that, he's become as good as me and better in a lot of areas. And that was that's what I needed, because his learning style, how he understood what we were doing or what I was doing, became the way that we train it now, because I wasn't capable of explaining it to people for some reason, because I was probably in the process of doing it.
Right. Well, yeah, it's always good to have another brain. Recalibrate and make it digestible to people.
So hey, Rob, we do something when we in our internal coaches and our practitioner network, we do a thing called a sync, and it takes the energy out. We even do it on Zoom or meetings. You want to do it with us?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you sitting?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, put your right leg over top of your left leg.
All right.
And right arm underneath your left armpit. Left arm on top. Okay, we turn our body to the right and our head to the left. Okay, now we're going to breathe in 6 times, 3 times through the mouth slow and 3 times through the nose, and we're going to sync it together. So 3, 2, 1, breathe in. 3. Nose. 2. 3. Okay, cool. That should, we use that to clear the energy that we bring into the room.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we're walking with somebody, our stride sync,
right,
and heartbeat does, but that takes time. So whenever there's a difference in energetics or emotions or perceptions when we're hanging out, then we have misunderstandings or emotions that come up and that come into the conversation. So we clear it all out right when we start.
We do it before every meeting. We do it before we eat, because in measuring, it drops the nervous system in 6 breaths with the counter rotated. It drops 50% of the stress off in just 6 breaths.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an awesome tool to use before I eat,
Before meetings,
anything.
in the middle of an argument. Yeah.
Great.
So,
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. I mean, like I've never really understood what you do, except for the fact that you put good content out, you help people, you have a good time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I am focused a lot on content on social media. So I put out content, and all of my content is catered to solving problems for people. So it's all I just, and then I look at my analytics and I determine which pieces of content get shared the most. And 100% of my effort is based on providing content that solves problems for people and that gets shared the most. So I don't care about likes, views, but when you produce content that gets shared, then your likes and views go up. So then from there, and I'm explaining to you like kind of the background business, then from there, every single person that follows me, and a lot do, and I'm also trying to build up my TikTok as well. Everyone that follows me, I send them a message, and the message basically says like, hey, thanks for the follow. I'm just wondering where you followed me from. So now I'm tracking where my audience comes from, because then they tell me where they found me from. And so maybe it was a podcast, maybe it was a post that I made, and then I just do more content on that. So I ask them where they found me from, and then I say, if there's any questions that I can help you with in regards to my niche, which is like consciousness or the reality, let me know. But what I'm really interested in is what your greatest vision of self is. So I have an app do that to every single person that follows me. I used to do it my own self, but there's too many, there's sometimes over 100 people that follow me each day. So I don't want to be spending 2 hours sending people this first message. But every single day, I answer people's messages. What that does is it creates a connection with my audience. And I let them know I view you as a community, not an audience, not a following. And so I learn about what people's problems are. I learn about what their goals are. That also allows me to determine what content to produce. And then I monetize this all because when people have problems, I have Purium. Have you heard of Purium?
No, I haven't.
So I'm a top leader in a network marketing company that I started in 3 years ago. And we utilize, and I teach people these tactics. This is a social media strategy, but we also teach people to network in their real life, but personal trainers, yoga teachers, gym owners, anybody basically that knows people. Like Purium's a multi-level marketing, network marketing company. We got products that are guaranteed money back to work. The business opportunity is free to join. And I can solve people's problems around health and or their finances through Purium. And so most of the day, my focus is on providing content to funnel people in so that I understand what the world needs, that I can produce more content to help people. And I can really help people if they want to purchase my product, purchase our products, or become a brand partner with Purium. And then I spend the background stuff that you don't see on Instagram is me talking to people about how to do the same thing. I'm teaching people how to be valuable human beings. And I get to use all these concepts of spiritualism, manifestation, intention setting, vision setting. I get to basically have a business structure where people can practice this, pushing past their fears and creating their goals and dreams in life. And so I'm actually a network marketing, like on paper, I'm a network marketing professional. I run a multi-level marketing organization. We work with superfoods, but that's what brings in the money. What I actually am more concerned with, I do for free, right? Which is the influencer stuff, the social media stuff. So I use network marketing to fund my information. So that's why it kind of just looks like I'm just giving out information all day. I'm spending a lot of my energy producing content, but I have a way to monetize it.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad you told us that story, because we're actually, we went from being, my background, as I'll get to know you over time, but my background is pretty diverse in business. I got into healthcare because I was in crisis. I wasn't a clinician, right? I became one through the process. And the whole goal was really to find a way to help people. And what I realized was being in a clinic and providing services like practitioner support, I was actually disabling people because we were fixing what people couldn't fix. We were fixing, like when people have been 10 years in chiropractic and acupuncture and therapies and it wasn't working, they came to us in the early days. You know, by the time you were coming around the later part, it was all the celebrities and everybody who wanted to be there. But in the early days, people found us because of the need. And what I realized is that even though we were really good at putting people back on, they weren't in this perpetual come back every month or every 2 weeks cycle. We would see them back in a year and a half or 2 years with an injury, which we knew was related to the original, what we were fixing.
Mhm.
And they didn't know that, but we did. And this is when I started to realize that I was actually facilitating the problem because if we were fixing better than everybody else, but we still were having problems with people, they're still coming back, that meant that we hadn't solved the problem. We just got better at fixing it. And that's why the drive to create the fascial maneuvers, because I realized that about a year before you came into the Conscious Clubhouse, that's when I decided that's when I knew that it was wrong, that fixing people wasn't going to work. So our whole model, and part of it was these 10 fascial maneuvers, we started them ourselves a year ago, just doing them every day, because they were individual components that work for a different reason, but they'd never been put together in a program. And when we started it, it transformed our lives. It didn't just fix my body, because I went from having care 3 to 5 days a week to no care, in a lot of pain when I left, to first time in my life I have zero issues in my body, zero restrictions. I sleep, I have energy, I don't even work out, and I've got my body back. So, because the fascial maneuvers was the starting process, and then it evolves to where we're at right now. And we decided that since it was so powerful for us, that the only thing to do is to actually give it to the world, let everybody have it. We started doing some research on it. We had brain mechanics come in there, and they lived in here with us for a couple of spots, but like a total of about 12 weeks over the course of 6 months. And they tested us with neurological equipment, biological equipment, MRIs, photonic scans, and all kinds of crazy stuff, because we wanted to see why our bodies were changing. Like for us, if we're going to show some age pictures pretty soon, but everybody that's here that's been doing it has lost 10 years or 20 years on their face and their body. And we were trying to explain why it was happening. We have some beliefs as to why it happens. One of them is that we train the program, the counter rotation is actually a fetal position. And what we believe is happening is the first time that they do that with a sequence of breath, the Viachi sequence, using the sequence of 3, 6, and 9. And what happens is it triggers something in the limbic system of the brain, or the midbrain, and that starts some sort of process that changes people's lives, that makes them literally want to eat better, change their relationships. And we thought it was, at first it was just a couple people, but as we started training coaches around the world, and some of them are practitioners and some of them are moms, right? Like just from every range. We started seeing that each and every one of them around the world would go through this 6-week full life reset. Like their whole lives would start to unwind, and then they would start to rebuild them. So we went from training people on fascial maneuvers, really, we're still doing a few coaching programs, to mostly mentoring the people that have gone through it, because their life changes so much.
I like that. And I think that there's so much that's not understood about the human body, right? In Western medicine and just what we get taught in schools. I don't know if you know this, I used to own several gyms in downtown LA for 10 years.
I do know that. I do know.
Right.
I know a bit about your history.
Okay, so yeah, everything that you just say makes sense. And I'm also into like yoga and the whole energetic sciences. I have a website called Kriya of the Week where I teach people about the flow of energy, and through me owning gyms, I recognized that in the gym space, we're completely focused on increasing the body's capacity by like training, right? By loading it with force and forcing it to work out. And then we're expecting the body to bounce back and to repair itself stronger. And because I'm so injured, because I played hockey, I never was able to do that process. I would just go to the beach and basically relax after being stressed of running the gym all day. And every single year, I would go to CrossFit competitions and I would either win them or do very well. And I was one of the top few hundred people in the world for most of my gym career, despite the fact that I wasn't working out. And what I found is that there's other ways to increase power potential of the human body than tearing it down and waiting for it to rebuild. And that's like being out in the sun, the earth. And so that's where my whole brand of like being outside, which I saw a post of you saying the best place to work out is outside a couple of days ago. But that's where my whole brand about being outside on the earth, sun gazing, sunbathing, all of that comes from the fact that our notion of exercise is flawed. And what you're saying is that there's other ways to increase power potential, which would be not necessarily useful in a CrossFit competition, even though it probably would be, but it's also just useful to make your body younger and think better and change your entire life. And it's the stuff that we're not thinking about, like the blockages. It's all the Eastern philosophy stuff, right? The energy meridians. And if we can increase flow of these universal powers like the sun and the earth, we can get that into our body more efficiently through freeing up our fascia, then we become younger.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, Raw. It's I actually want to show you a photo before and after.
Which one?
Just show me a photo from last year. Do you have that? It's in the app, right?
I haven't.
I got your guys' emails today. I was about to take, because I got an email about the 28-day thing, and then it said to take pictures. So I was about to do that, or I'm going to do that.
Good. I appreciate that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go into basically everything I learned over the last 2 years, shadowing with Gary and exploring and going in nature and just trying things. We're just gonna share it for free for 28 days and have people choose what they want out of that to implement into their life. Because basically we have very similar goals, is to share what we know about the body and help people. And we want to do that. And the vessel to do that was to just have a training program that we charge practitioners for. And the movements and how to change your personal life is all free. Yeah.
And what we're doing is we've been banking, building a shitload of content. We've got a year's worth of content, 150 to 200 hours worth of recorded sessions, videos, and like when somebody joins our program, they get access to all of the content, all of the training programs, everything for free for life. And the whole idea was we have enough to pay for our lifestyle, and that's all we really need. And the rest of it, all the money goes into a foundation, and it's to get the maneuvers into education systems, it's other countries and stuff like that. So we're in a not-for-profit. We don't even generate income now. And that's part of our mission and our goal. And that's why we're doing it. And what's coming up though, what came up out of it though, is the fact that the people that lives start changing because of the process, whatever this process is. And I'm sure in 20 years we'll know what's really happening, but because they needed help with their lives, mentorship and stuff like that. So our coaching programs turned into mentorship, personal development programs, really, because you can learn about the maneuvers, all the information, it's 10 of them out there. There's thousands of ways to adapt them. And we just teach people the formula, how we created them. And then everybody adapts them to themselves. And so that's part of our process right now. It's been a real change. And as a part of that, since we were living here, we started just moving in nature. And moving in nature, like climbing boulders and rocks, like actually, can you grab one video of shadow balls?
Yeah, here, why don't we go to, if we're gonna pull up,
Yeah, we're gonna pull you to another. Because I want to show you a couple of things. This is how we really feel that people should be living, and we're helping people move to this lifestyle. And the part of it is when they want to start helping people, when they start transforming their lives, they need more coaches or more people to walk them through. So it's a self-perpetuating program, basically. We're just gonna put you on another computer here so we can show you some stuff. When did you get out of the gym business, Rob?
2017. So it's been, yeah, 4 years, 4.5 years.
You got out right when I was starting, because the only reason I even did media in the first place was because LA Times and Men's Fitness and that were trying to get interview or trying to do stories on us. I wouldn't give any stories, and then they finally said we're going to do one anyways. So that's the only reason I did media. Because before that, we didn't even have a website. We just had the location. I was thinking that people that find us naturally are the ones that really need to be.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
You didn't have a sign. You were up in the roof of
Above Bikram Yoga.
Yeah. But you were sold out, right? Like
there we go. It was above Bikram Yoga. In an alley, you remember that? You had to go through the yoga studio, buzz a buzzer. It was pretty crazy, but that filter allowed us to then people found us. They really wanted to be there. So we had 100% success rate. And then as we started advertising and going media, people that hadn't gone through and paid the price of trying to figure out their own solution or help themselves would come in because they saw a celebrity there. And then the efficacy rate started dropping because those people were early in their journey. They hadn't come to the point where they said, I need to do something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to show you part of some of the things that we do around here. Just to tease you a little bit, because it's exactly what you were talking about. We just within a 20-minute drive, we have some of the best trails and hiking and the ocean and the mountains, and with snow, all that. We can literally go snow skiing and go swim in the ocean the same day. And so it's pretty rad. So I was just gonna show you something.
Which one do you want?
Just any of the Shannon Falls ones.
Shannon Falls.
The video?
Yeah.
Well,
there's, I can just pull up a video in the meantime.
Yeah. This is where every day, what we're committed to do is we go in the ocean every day and we swim.
Here's do our fascial maneuvers. It's raining today, or this day. It's really cool, but we jump in the ocean and we're actually creating movements in the water, because what happens is we're a balloon and we have internal pressure and external pressure. So what happens when we go in the water, we increase the external pressure on the body, forcing the internal pressure to go up. So it actually creates expansion within the fascia. So we're going in the water and we're doing maneuvers in the water. We're diving down and playing around with that because it's opening up the layers of the body.
That's what started putting muscle back on, because when we started this journey, this real transformation journey, we did a 44-day fast, the three of us. And we went 2 weeks without water, our food. And then we were testing all kinds of things because I wanted to prove that food was was not a fuel, it was a medicine. And so the only way to do it was to remove it and still move. So that was part of our own experiment, right? Is this playing right now?
Yeah.
So this is us just actually doing it at the beach. We like to do it on undulated surfaces. And the 10 maneuvers are just the basic. Those are the ones they mobilize the joints and the fascia in the joints. And basically the body moves through fascia and joints. We discovered that muscles don't move the body, because if I stepped on a piece of glass, Rock, it takes a second and a half for a nerve to go from the foot up to the brain, and then go through the homunculus and cerebellum and back down to the foot for motor control. So if I stepped on glass, it would be 1/1000 move. but that's not what happens. I move right away. So in medicine, they say it's a ganglion reflex, like a doctor.
Right. Yeah.
But that means if I stepped on glass, I just go boink. So that is unintelligent movement. So what hypotheses I had 7 years or 8 years ago was that the fascia, which is now we know is biophotonic, moves information at the speed of light. It actually moves the signal. So the fascia is coordinating the movement away from safety or from a danger, but coordinating all the muscle functions, all the brain functions, neurological function. I'm moving immediately away from that danger. And it happens before the brain even gets a signal. So our first real piece of research is, and we can prove it, is that the brain does not move the muscles to move the body. Fascia is intelligent and it moves the body through emotion, and the muscles support the movement microseconds behind it. And this is the foundation of creating the maneuvers and then turning it into a therapy. And it's a hard concept because we all grew up, working on muscles. But, like, for example, here, this is a bicep head, but around it here is what I call fascial. It's fascia because it's really loose, like flappy like this, but then hard as rock when I want it to, but it's like,
it's a balloon. It's pressure.
So when we unlocked all the fascia, our performance literally doubled and tripled. Our ability to move through range of motion and power. And the other thing too is that this fast that I went on, I'll show you a picture, and I haven't gained a pound or lost a pound since the fast. And it'll shock you because it's what we're doing is we're focusing on the potential of the fascia, which has virtually no weight, but has all this power. And it's super wild, but here, I'll show you what we do this is like 20 minutes from our place. We do this like,
so what happened is once we did the maneuvers, we were like, well, how do we get the body moving again? Because the maneuvers are just a way to unwind all the restrictions that we've developed over our lifetime. And so we started getting out into nature, and it started off at the beach. We would run on the logs and the rocks, and you couldn't touch the sand. It was like lava. It was a game we would play. And our feet started to get really good grip and started to be able to almost bend around rocks. Barnacles didn't cut them. It started to really develop our feet back. And then we found a waterfall just up the road. And so we come here and we started moving on all fours, kind of like similar to animal flow, but really just getting the body moving again. And also on all fours. So this is the waterfall that's just up the road from us.
And it's changed our lives because the movement on the boulders, rather than moving on like even like on just through the forest, it articulates all of the movement of the joints. And I was never a rock climber or anything like that. We are now, but other thing too is our skin is super, super, super spongy, so that we grip on rocks like crazy. It's like Spider-Man going up the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So this is part of it. And I sent a picture to you. So I want to show you something. We finished the fast how many months ago?
We did a 40-day fast. We finished it on July 28th. No, June 28th.
June 28th. And so I haven't done any exercise, fascial maneuvers and movement only. And this is, and I have done zero exercise.
This was him before. Oh, right after the fast.
Yeah.
And then
and I've done zero exercise at all. And
weightlifting, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we're doing maneuvers and climbing.
But all we're doing is we're moving, and not even to a large amount. But when we promote the fascia, the body. Oh, here's the other thing too. That picture that you saw me in, I haven't changed weight. I'm still the same weight. So, and the energy cycles in the body don't have, what happens, we believe, and again, we're testing this, is that when we drive potential to the fascia, and it's through a special breathing and structure process that happens after the maneuver, it's connected to the maneuver. When we drive attention to there, what it does is it stimulates, because the fascia has 100 trillion nerve endings where the brain has 100 billion. It stimulates more intelligence of the body, so more feel, more sense, peripheral vision goes up. Energetics, you know how you work with energy and flow of energy. Well, all of a sudden, from not working with energy to feeling energy, flowing with it, and being able to use it. And this is all just a result of us doing the maneuvers and then the advanced processes.
So are you, so you're saying that the fascia has an intelligence, and then you mentioned that it's operating through emotion, which would suggest that there's a field, right? There, and like the
Yes,
heart.
entropic field. So actually your aura, we can actually measure it. We have a machine that we actually have. You stick your finger in and it shoots a photon on there and takes the off gas, and it measures your entropic field or your aura.
And all the chakras.
And all the chakras. We actually have the equipment here. So what we believe actually is you have your aura, and then you have your chakras, which are your entry points. And then those are all part of our body or our fascia. And the only part that's visible is what we can see with the eye. But we are now sensitive to touch, and people that we work with become sensitive to touch with the energy. First of all, when's your birthday, out of curiosity? What's your sign name?
October 13th, 1982. And I'm a Libra.
Yeah, Libra. Perfect. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So it's all about balance. So as a Libra, you also feel energy a lot, right?
Yes. I have a weird way. Yes, but I don't.
Okay. So can I do something with you right now online?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is get you to put your left hand on your trap. Left trap, and your right hand right around your hip on your iliocecal valve. Just pull it up here, and then we're going to breathe. And you're not going to breathe. We're going to breathe for you. Okay. So we're going to breathe 6 times. So just hold it there. Breathe in. Okay, just measure your body. You're pretty good at body senses. See if you have a little taste in your mouth, like maybe metallic or bloody or anything like that. If you don't, that's okay too.
I mean, I feel different. It felt like I fell into like a black hole, like a silent place.
Cool. So we'll do one more on the heart. Okay. So again, you don't even touch yourself here. We'll just do it for you. Okay. Okay, good.
I don't know if I noticed anything different there, but the first one felt like I got like high.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The second one was just rebalancing your heart and your head. It's, like brain heart coherence. So you wouldn't have noticed physically, it'd be more like calmer in your thoughts. Mm-hmm. So part of it is what we believe. And again, this is just our belief systems, and because there's no real evidence, it's just what we believe and what we see, is that as we unrestrict the fascia, everybody's abilities enhance. So the field expands.
Mm-hmm. Awareness.
Which is you're participating in helping people facilitate their ascension, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then we gain. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's measurable. We're finding ways to measure it because we've had enough people now. They're going through the same steps each time. So we didn't know what they were. We went through and had experiences. There's 3 of us, and we went through the fast, and we believe the fast is what reset us to the level we're at. We're finding ways to do it in less than 44 days, but we believe that it triggers something in the way that the body processes fuel. And that's why we're eating very, very little. Like we eat vegan now. I never was vegan before. I couldn't do it. and we eat about 50 to 75% less product, and we're still putting on muscle and stuff like that. So we believe that it increases the potential. So we use less of the endocrine system to fire, because if the fascia is moving, the muscles have to fire through endocrine or through basically adrenaline, noradrenaline, norepinephrine, and then cortisol. And the muscles, so for the brain muscle connection, it fires that way. We believe the fascial connection is what moves through emotion. Like, for example, before I say I want to get a glass, I have to have a desire to have water or something. So the desire is what gets me up. And then desire creates a thought. The thought ties to a narrative, and then the narrative creates an action, either an action or a not action, which is an action. And like, we can actually, the way that we teach it, we can actually walk people through this, and they feel it in real time. So that once they can start thinking like that, then it really is motion becomes, it's emotion, it's energy in motion, it's to emote. And we were redefining what motion really is. And we're on the early stages of this. I mean, we're really like just experiencing it now. And we don't know what to say. We're learning, and we're trying our best and fumbling through everything, but we're just being very authentic. And for our people in our network, they have 100% access to everything that we say, we do. We record our conversations, we put it online, we talk about uncomfortable shit, like really, really deep uncomfortable shit, because we know that if we're 100% authentic and we just keep doing our program, that people that follow it will follow because of that, because they can see the changes, and they know they come into our house, the people that are here, they eat with us, they live with us sometimes. And it allows for this, for that belief that they need, because a lot of this is we're changing a belief system. Because I always believed the body was built the way that I thought it was meant. You know, I believe that the body was built, brain dominance, brain did everything. I was neurologically trained. So neurological recalibration and motion. I was working with Olympic athletes doing it. And it does work. But what I thought we were training the brain and the muscles, the product that we were using, which was my first clinic, was Rubenstein Center, is neuromuscular calibration with Dr. David Rubenstein. He's the grandfather of movement therapy. And what we thought we were doing was working on mind and muscle. But what we were working on is fascia. But we didn't understand it at the time. We just saw results that we couldn't replicate with any other therapy. So that's how we've come full circle. And what we're now just doing, like literally, that's why everything's in a foundation, is for free, because we know that it once people try it and it works, it changes their life and they go on this journey.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the philosophies around the entire world, this concept of oneness is just about being able to merge the individual nature of ourself into everything else. And I was always wondering, because we go from our brain is the only thing that's intelligent, like our head brain's the only thing that's intelligent, and now it's widely accepted that we've got neurons in our heart, neurons in our digestive system as well. And so now you're saying fascia, which is essentially everything else, has its own intelligence, and then even able to communicate with the external environment, like the glass thing, if you step on that. And there's even studies where the heart reacts to random images of like positive or negative images before they even get displayed. The heart already has knowledge.
Yes.
And so so it just makes sense that the fascia is connected. And I'm just wondering if the fascia, because the fascia operates, I've heard another Dr. Tennant, I think, he talks about the fascia being superconductors. It's conducting, like you said, that it's electrical, so it's moving
biophotonic. It's actually transmits through light, and it's also bioacoustic. That's why vibration technology makes the body perform. There's a vibration technology that can get somebody with cerebral palsy to walk, and somebody who's crippled to play piano. And these anomalies said, well, that can't be if that vibration does it, it can't be the muscle. It's low frequency. So the fascia is infinitely intelligent, and we believe that, and we can demonstrate that actually the fascia receives information through all kinds of little anecdotal tests, and then the brain then gets the signal. And so it's just a matter of re-educating. So basically, we were trying to tell the world about fascia, and so we put up our site, Master Your Fascia, which is coming down. We got caught in the trap. Everybody's trying to define fascia, and the more I know, the more I realize I don't know anything. So yeah, so we're gonna get out. We're getting out of the trying to be experts on fascia. What we're experts in is programming it and using it. So like Jason was saying, always is like my generation grew up saying, what's in that phone? What kind of processor? What kind of chip? Their generation grew up to saying, how do I use it? They don't care. And so the body is like the phone. It's like we've been trying to figure out what's inside of it. But I know, and you know, if you just move your body in health and nature and you eat right, you live right. And so the idea is to transition and get people to start thinking about their body a different way. And we can't do it if we're arguing about fascia, because as soon as we say something, there'll be something proven or disproven to prove or disprove what we say. And so we just got out of that, and we're just like, here's how you live your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go ahead, Jason.
Oh, I was going to say, the whole thing of the brain is just one state of awareness, really. And so what's happened is we're in an information age, and people are so disconnected from their bodies that they don't know what, like when they eat something, they don't even know what it did to their kidneys or their liver or their stomach. So what we're doing is we're through the maneuvers, the stress in the body decreases enough that perception increases. So the awareness of somebody's body increases, and then they start to feel the electricity. They start to feel their heart. They start to feel all the other sensations that are coming in, all the other states of awareness. So this process is, it's really just unwinding everything so that people can reconnect with their bodies, because like you said, the body is way smarter than the brain, and the information that comes in, it comes in before we can even see it.
Yeah. So what's the plan? Why are we on this call talking?
Yeah. So
well,
a couple things, Ra. I mean, first of all, thank you for your testimonial. I know you have a big community, big following. If they work for you and they change your life like we think they will, we'd just like you to share it. That's really what our ask. We love your content, love your education. We'd love you to know more about what we do. We do our training programs, how we train about the body and how it works from our point of view. If you wanted to jump on one of those programs, I'd like to talk to you about that offline, so you can understand it, because you have so much knowledge and so much wisdom about how to work with nature that I'm learning from you. And what I want to do is I want to put what's happening in our bodies in your body and see where it goes. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that already. This conversation, and then I've only watched some of the fascial maneuvers. I have a lot of like questions, and I see like little journeys that I've never considered before. That's really interesting to me. There's some holes that this is filling in for me.
Yeah, that's what we believe. Wait, like we're now, since this is not a salary and it's not a business that generates money, we're in this for one purpose. It's literally to help. And it's what you're doing. We're almost at the point where we don't even have a training revenue to support us. We don't need that, because we're the people we mentor and help, they just donate. And that's enough for us to live our life and produce the content. So we actually transition. Kind of what you're doing is you're using your money to live this life. We made that jump. And so right now our whole thing is to find people like you who really give a shit, and you know so much, and empower you with our knowledge, and then see where it goes, because we just want to get it up.
Yeah, I have energy to do that. And also I'm interested. I'm super interested in this. I mean, I've always been a fan of the human body and how we operate. And this is going a direction that yeah, you guys have dove deep into some territory that I think could shift the entire planet.
Thank
And
you.
So,
And
mean-
we believe that with our soul and hearts, and that's why we gave up everything and walked this path.
yeah, no, it seems real to me. Like it resonates for sure.
Raw, we got to get on another call, but two things. I'll talk to you offline about our training programs and working together some more.
All right.
And I have your number. We'll trade. We like to publish our talks, and we were hoping that you'd be okay with us publishing this as kind of like a informal podcast.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. And we'll send it to you too if you wanna put it up or do anything with it. That'd be great.
Yeah. All right, great. I'll grab some clips.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Ra, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad that you found your way back to me, and I have a lot to learn from you. Or we have a lot to learn from you, and we're super excited about getting to know you better.
All right. Thanks, guys. Nice seeing you both.
Okay.
Nice seeing you.
Bye.
Bye, Ro.
Bye.